Okay, here we go. If you want to write inequalities from a graph, I give you some steps here. I don't necessarily follow them to the letter. This is on page 21. So steps are here. If you like steps, then this is what I would recommend. So here we go. We'll determine the slope of the line. We have to figure out the slope, and that's rise over run. So what I do is I try to strategically pick my points. Quite often I'll be giving you the points. Okay. Let me see there. Can you see well? Yeah. You're okay. It's not glaring too much. But there, I don't know if you can see it. There's a point right here, and you want to scan the line for an exact where it crosses an intersection on the grid. I was kind enough to give you that right here. I try to always give you that because sometimes it's so hard to see. But if you're not sure, check to see if you can replicate that slope somewhere else. So for example, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4 rise. And then 1, 2, 3, a run of 3 to get to that point. You should be able to do the same thing. Let's say this point right here. Let's see if we can replicate from here to here and get a 4 over 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There's a 3 as well. So we know now quite certain that our slope is, which number comes first? That's always the kicker. Rise first, right? Rise over run. Rise and then run. Okay, and is it positive? It's positive. So because it's going up from left to right, you always read the line from left to right. What's happening? So m is positive, okay? So we know that we don't have to plug in a negative in front of it. So two things taken care of. Determine the true region, okay? If it says solution here, right? True is below line, okay? Therefore, we're gonna have to go y is less than for sure. And so we're kind of doing what we did before, but backwards. Is it going to need an equal sign? It's dashed, right? So it doesn't need the equal sign underneath. That's another thing. So it's dashed, stays. Okay, so slope. Where is the true region? Is it solid or dashed? We know it's dashed. We just look at the line. Okay, and then write the inequality. So we're starting. Y is less than. We've already determined that here. We go with our slope, 4 over 3, and you slap on the x there. Oh, did we forget? Where is our y-intercept? This is our y-intercept right there. Y-intercept is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. That is probably something I should have done. At some point, you have to figure out the y-intercept. So we go plus 4 for the y-intercept. So I'm going to make an arrow there. So this is your inequality. This is very like I gave this is way too much work in my opinion. I'll show you how it's just like you just write it and just look at it and you will know what to do. But you need to practice, right? Let's try one more here. I don't know if you see the points, but I have one here and one right here. There could be one along the way, but it doesn't matter. We don't have to even reduce fractions. So you figure out like from this point to this point. Oh wait, that is not a good one. Variable pay. That's just the x-intercept. when I use Desmos, it kind of highlights the x-intercept, but you notice that it's in between, not a good one. So don't pick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the line for it where it crosses exactly, and I believe it is right here. That's the first instance where it crosses an intersection. I'm going to go back up a little bit, and I see that it's happening here as well. Okay, so you kind of have confirmation that that is your slope. So that's how you know for sure. So then you just go 1, 2. There's a 2 vertical change, and 1, 2, 3. There's a 3 unit horizontal change. So my slope is 2/3, but it is negative, correct? That is always the next question you've got to ask. Is it positive or negative? Slope is negative because it's dropping from left to right. So I'm going to slap on a negative in front. So you know it's 2/3. 2/3 for sure. But it's negative in particular because it's dropping from left to right. My y-intercept is, this is 0, 0 here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's negative 5. Okay. So it's this one right there. That is the y-intercept. So you've got your slope and your y-intercept. So watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do it a little quicker. I go y, negative 2/3 x minus 5. You're guaranteed to have these two components. So your y, your slope and your x and your intercept. And now you have to figure out what comes here. So I will say this is solid. And the true region is where? True is above the line. See? True is above. Solution is labeled here. True is above the line. Okay. So we're going to say, therefore, what goes in there is going to be greater than, for sure. And because it's solid, you add the equal sign. And there you have it. That's your inequality for this particular graph. So find the slope, the y-intercept, write it out, and then fill in what you need in here. So 1 mark will usually be associated with everything surrounding the inequality. So 1 mark for the inequality, 1 mark for everything else. That's usually how I mark this. Let's do the special cases on page 22. Let's consider this. Let's consider this one A, and we're going to call this one here. This one, we're going to call that B. Okay, I did 2 and 1. You should get used to it. But for inequality A, it's this one here. It's a vertical line. What does that mean? I'm just going to have x and a number. That's all. What number am I going to put over here? And you just count, right? This is 0, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be 7 here. And to fill in the inequality, you just say, hey, this is a solid line. And we know that the true region is to the right. Therefore, I have to go, this tells me that the true region is to the right, and the inequality, the equal sign indicates that it's a solid line. Voila, you're done. Inequality B, horizontal. These ones are the quickest ones. You don't need to worry about slope. You don't need to worry about any of that. You just need to worry about what number and the inequality. So this is going to be y and a number. And this number, if you count from here, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it goes through -9. And then you ask yourself what goes in there. Okay, well, this one is dashed, so there will be no equal sign. And the true region is, look at the boundary line, it is below the line. So that means that I'm going to have to go y is less than, that's it. You're done. That's your inequality. All right, I hope that makes sense. Can I add something to your steps? Because I feel like it doesn't say find the y-intercept. I forgot to add that. So if you go to 21, the box here, I would say determine the slope and y-intercept. And that would be the letter B, slope and y-intercept. The y-intercept is very easy to find. Just look at the graph, and that's it. And let's go back to 22, just to give you one more hint here. When it's vertical, it's just going to be X number. When it's horizontal, you know it's going to be Y number, for sure. And this number is where it crosses, right? Where it crosses x-axis. This number right here is where it crosses the y-axis. That's it. So if you remember that, you will be good. All right. I want you to try that. There are 2 and 1. Like, stop doing that, but I will do that all the time, actually, to save paper. Go down to the one in D. I want you to determine both inequalities. Just treat them like individual graphs, right? So go over to D and then figure out, call this one A, and you can call this one B, just to make a distinction. Okay, this is B, or sorry, let's call this one A, and this is B. So you can distinguish between them. They're both diagonals, so they're not special cases. You're gonna have to do the whole, the steps, okay? So try that, and then we'll continue. So here it is. I'm just gonna give you another rundown, some of the things that I noticed, and then I'll just, we'll just stick with this, and I'll just assign you some of these to practice, okay? So what, for solution A here, we need to figure out, we know it's diagonal, so we know it's going to have a y and then a slope, which most of you figured out already. That was a 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's negative 5 over 7 because the line is dropping. Line drops. Make a note of that because you might forget that later on. And make sure you put an X there. Okay, don't forget it. And then the next thing is the y-intercept. You count from the origin all the way up. Like y-intercept is 11. Okay, that's 0, 11, that coordinate. So you'd have to go plus 11 like this. And then you figure this one out. It's dashed, and the true region is above the line. That therefore this has to go like this. Okay, that would be your first inequality. Your second one, same, y, and then something x. And in this case, I have points here too. It's just 1 and 1, 2, 3, right? And you can check 1, 3, 1, 3. It continues to be on the line, so you're good to go. So that's 1 over 3 positive, and we are below the line. So this is 2, 4, 6, 7. The y-intercept is negative 7. Write that in there, right, for later on. So that's negative 7 like that. And this is solid. True is below the line. So you have to go less than or equal to get that one right. But hold it, we're not done yet. This is the last part for today. Determine the point of intersection. Okay, so the POI. We want this. This is the POI right there. Okay. How would we find that? You grab your calculator. Do that real quick. You treat these inequalities as if they were, oh, what's happening there? As if you had lines. So you're ready for this, right? You go bracket -5 divided by 7. I would follow this, right? X plus 11. That's my y1. Then I go to y2. I use brackets again. 1 divided by 3, close bracket. X minus 7. If you forget the x, you're going to get a horizontal line. Okay? So if that ever happens to you, double check. You forgot to type an x. Happens a lot. Okay? Now let's graph them both. Let's all go standard window. Zoom. Zoom standard, which is the 6th option. Not a very good window, but you just need to make some changes, right? We're going to go to X. We're going to go to our window, increase X max, double it. And I think we also have to increase Y max. We're going to go to 15 on Y max. There we go. Now you see both of them crossing. And then we're just going to go second, trace, intersect. So second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. And you've got 17.18, negative 1.27. Very important to be able to do that after you've figured out those inequalities. Okay, specifically, okay, 26 to 27 has the inequalities from graph. Okay, I will post those. If you still need practice on what we did earlier on the AC today, if you didn't do so well on the AC, you want to go back to yesterday's homework and practice that one more time, okay? To make sure you know what you're doing, because time is going to be your biggest enemy on this one. If you don't know exactly what you need to do, you're going to run out of time when we have like multiple at the same time. That's what we're going to start tomorrow. Okay, systems of inequalities. The AC is probably just going to consist of this stuff. Like, can you write your inequality if I gave you a graph? Just going to do a quick review on that.